questions that we're able to view in support of the decision that the screening committee has made? And if not, since most of those candidates might be in the room today, can we hear from them for a minute?
We can, certainly those candidates that are here, if they want to make a statement before, a short statement, they can do that. Now, we do have a questionnaire that we ask them to fill out. They fill those out. Agreement for, we've had this agreement for a long time. That they may we destroy those afterwards, so that we do keep one here that you can look at, but we don't pass it around so that people can't take something out of context that they put in there and use it against them in their campaign. So we do keep a copy of everybody's questionnaire. It's a 10-page or 10-question questionnaire that we have here that you can come down and look at.
So considering that the screening was just yesterday and we want to vote to move this today, is it possible that we can wait till the next meeting in January to move a motion to accept those screenings so we can review the information and hear from some of the candidates ourselves?
Well, like I said, there is a motion on the floor, so if you believe that, then you should vote against the motion.
I understand there's a motion on the floor, and some of us will vote no on it. So can we count the votes this time as opposed to saying aye?
Is there a motion for a hand count?
Yes.
Yes, we can do the hand count, yes. Mike?
If I understand the motion, you're moving to accept the whole recommendation on all 5 candidates.
Yes.
So that would be a good reason to vote no on this motion, because all these candidates are not the same, and some you might choose more over others. So I urge everybody to vote no on this motion, and then maybe we can look at them one at a time. And I'm in full agreement that we should wait until next January. I think it makes us look ridiculous to make these kind of endorsements before the deadline to turn petitions in. This has been a source of irritation for years, and I think we need to stop doing that.
Well, in some cases, people don't want to run unless they have an endorsement, well, particularly the judicial races. And then these other races, we had a candidate that screened with us, and we didn't get it. He wasn't going to run without an endorsement. So to go to that, there are sometimes people, if they don't have the support of the party going forward, they're not going to run. That's the other side of it.
I would just also like to make sure everybody's aware that the screening process and the bylaws are set by this body every 4 years. So in June of 2018, we had the opportunity to change any of these rules that we wanted to. We addressed many of the things that are being brought up, screening before the petition deadline. Those things ultimately did not have majority support, and so we are operating tonight under the rules in our Constitution for screening people. So there's nothing fishy and weird and sketchy about what we're doing. We're operating under the rules we set for this body 18 months ago, just so everybody's aware.
Teresa?
I'm not arguing the rules. I just want to give you some what-if scenarios. As you know, last year, or in 18, you guys did not endorse me before the primary supposedly because of union considerations. And I was also told, though, with all the other endorsements, that you will pretty much automatically endorse an incumbent. So I just want to give you 2 what-ifs. What if Roddy had won the city commission race this year? How many in this room would want him to have the automatic endorsement when he's up again?
It never happened.
Sorry to throw you under the bus.
It's fine.
The other thing is, my concern is that you're talking about endorsing before the filing deadline. I talked to a lot of donors this week, and they're trying to talk me into running again. And I've got 1,000-yard signs. I've got my committee active. What if I decided to run out at the last minute and go ahead and get my signatures and file by the deadline on Wednesday, but an endorsement's already gone out?
That's right.
Right.
It's not going to happen. I'm not doing it. But I'm just saying those are some what-if scenarios. So yeah, I don't think anything's sketchy. I don't think anything's, problematic. I'm just saying, just think about these what-if scenarios. And I don't know if that means you come up with you only do this, or if it means we're not having set deadlines, we're going to use our discretion each year. That's all. And obviously, I want Desiree to give the comment or the endorsement. So.
So I would respond to the devil's advocate kind of question by saying, does this body want to endorse someone who scrambled in the 11th hour to get their signatures, or who's been working for 5 months developing relationships?
I remember Miss Studebaker got in way in advance, and that didn't turn out so good either. So, you know,
Parliamentary procedures, you talk twice and you're done.
You have one other question.
You said that candidates receive questionnaires. If all candidates for each position receive those questionnaires, or only those who requested, how did you know who is running?
We use the Board of Elections for people who have taken out petitions, or if they've called down and were even interested in running, and let us know they were interested.
but you don't have to take out petitions. You can get them, download them, and do them anytime.
That's right. There are candidates who don't show up on the Board of Petitions list, Board of Elections.
Happens all the time.
David, you talked. You're done. Tom.
I know a lot of folks are new and don't understand. A lot of us spent a lot of time, a lot of hours interviewing the candidates. We spent and planned around being here for the screening committee and for the executive committee. We have vetted those people. We have made a recommendation, and it's up to the body to vote on it. Look, if you folks don't want a screening committee, if you don't want an executive committee, change the Constitution. You approved it. You empowered us to do a task. We've done the task. We've taken the time to be here multiple times. We're here again tonight. And think about what we're doing instead of criticizing the people who have taken the time to come down and do the job that you asked us to do.
You mean all the patronage people that are on the committee, whose jobs, whose paycheck is connected? Yeah, we know how this works.
Who's the sergeant in arms? Let's sort his ass out of here.
Well, before we do, let me introduce the candidates. I think it's a reasonable request. So in the 2nd District Court of Appeals, Marshall Lockman. Marshall, where you at? Marshall, right here. Marshall is an attorney, 31 years experience, and is again a candidate for Court of Appeals. Heather, are you still here? Heather, back in the back. Why don't you come on, just introduce yourself. She is a candidate, works for the Montgomery County Prosecutor's Office since 2013, and was interested in Court of Appeals, but she's also interested in future runs for Court of Appeals. So Heather Ketter, right there. In the 39th House District, we had Willis Blackshear Jr. Willis Blackshear. Willis has been active in, he works for the county auditor, before that for the Board of Elections, and has been past president of Montgomery County Democratic Party's Young Dems. We had, is Ed Hickman here, Walter Hickman. He screened, he's not here tonight. Derek Forward also screened, but he basically, he is working full-time. He needs 3 years to retire from his job. After consideration, he's also president of the NAACP. He thought he would not have the time to have a full-time job and be the state representative. And there was also considerations of all this time because he still wanted to be president of the NAACP, so he withdrew today. Joel Thomas Jones was scheduled. Joel, you're here. Why don't you stand up, Joel? She is a candidate. She was, I got the date wrong for the screening.
Well, in all fairness, with no disrespect, I love this party, been working for the party for 25 years, but we all know there are backdoor deals, and I didn't want to stand there. You can get mad if you want to. It's the truth. Woo-woo. But things happen in a party where people have given their lives, and the process is not fair. I think that the other candidates are awesome candidates, and I adore the fact that a 20-something-year-old man is going to run for a state seat. That is remarkable, considering the state and the perception of African-American men in this country today, and Walter Hickman. But I didn't screen because I felt it was a done deal. But I still respect the party, I believe in unions, and I am still running.
In this Ohio State Senate District, we had Mark Fogel. Mark, are you here? I'm here. Right, Mark Fogel. Mark, recently a graduate of the Air Force Academy through fighter jets in Afghanistan. Is currently working for GE as basically he recruits veterans to work for GE. Is that correct? Yep. And so he's running for state senate. And then we also have Al Griggs. Al, are you here? Al is he is ran for the state the 6th Senate District 4 years ago. Ran for Huber Heights mayor and also for the 40th House District. And he was seeking the support again for this year. The Congressional 10th District, we have Desiree Timms. Desiree, where are you at? Desiree? Desiree is a graduate of Georgetown Law School. She has interned in the Obama White House. She worked with Senator Sherrod Brown's office and Senator Kristen Gillibrand's office, and has come back after law school and is running this year for Congress. Eric Moyer. Eric, where are you at, Eric? Eric is creative Kettering. He has got a degree in.
I have a degree in biomedical engineering. I was a scientist at NASA for a few years. There's two other candidates who are collecting petitions for this out of Greene County, this race. So, yes, two other Democrats, Patrick Jones and Michael Gilbert. So, Michael Gilbert.
Well, they're all able to run. People have run against the party before and won, but we were asked to screen. People have to ask us to screen. We are screening. We're making a recommendation for that this body would endorse. Everyone's entitled to run. So.
Let me ask you one question. I think it'd be helpful, as you pointed out, a lot of people are new and don't really understand the consequence of a party endorsing a candidate, and it really makes a big difference because maybe you can tell them better than I do that this becomes part of the literature of what the party officially recommends, so people will get something in their mailbox that says the party tells you to vote for so-and-so.
Well,
I object to that because I don't think the party should be deciding.
The party recommends, and we have people down here, volunteers all the time. They take phone calls. You wouldn't believe the number of phone calls we get. They said, who are you guys endorsing? And when we don't answer them, they say, but why the hell not? People expect us to take stands. So that's reality. That's reality.
Well, I'm just saying it makes a big advantage for the endorsed candidate.
You have one more question. Go ahead.
So my last statement, I'm a union supporter. I used to be, as Stacy Benson and Scotty knows, I was chief union steward of Montgomery County for 8.5 years. Should I ever decide to run, the issue I have with some of this process is when the Democratic Party has people at the polls telling them I don't support unions. That's a problem. And that occurred in this last election against a candidate who is a union-paying representative, and people were telling out of this party that they don't support unions. So my problem with the process is we need to wait for the deadlines so we can accurately vet these candidates, and we need to ensure that it's a fair process for everybody. Like I said, I work
just curious, how many of the people that are being recommended by the screening committee had a campaign staff member asking a question or part of this screening process last night? How many people that are being recommended by the screening committee had a staff member as part of that meeting last night asking questions? Was there just one candidate or more?
Just one.
Just
They
one?
were asked to leave the room.
Just one.
And they left the room. We asked them to leave the room, so they weren't in.
Point of clarification, Jamaica's actually correct, she was a union member, but what I said at the polls was not that she excuse me, this is my time to talk. What I said specifically was that the candidate did not support issue 9, which was not supporting the city of Dayton employees. I never said she did not support unions. I never said anything like that. I was very specific in the language that I said, and it was that she did not support issue 9.
That's not what I heard. I heard she didn't
But
support
you were not there.
I was in another polling place.
And
Come on.
so I'm going to speak
Come on,
and
David.
clarify
Now cut
my
it out.
point. Exactly. And so what was also said in the discussion with Joel was that if you arrived at the point where you did endorse issue 9, you originally were against it. That was our conversation. There was no question as to whether or not the candidate or the candidate's supporters supported unions. That was never discussed.
And we're not referring, I'm not referring,
All right, we're gonna call a
to what
question.
Stacy said.
There's a
I'm
motion
referring to other
on the
representatives that
floor.
were at the polls,
You've had
passing out
enough.
that information.
You're out of order.
No, this is out of order.
I called the question, Mr. Chairman.
Just, hi, where are all the new people at? This is great. They're not always this exciting, but we're having a good one tonight. So here's the one thing I wanted to say before you vote. There's 2 issues at stake. There's the concern about whether or not there should be an endorsement period, whether that is something that we should be doing, and then there's whether or not we should be doing it right now. So the question on the floor is, should we endorse all of the candidates that are listed here right now? You can vote no on that, and we can take this up again in January after the filing deadline. So if you vote no tonight, all you are saying is we are not going to endorse these candidates right now. Not that we will never endorse them, because a lot of good people have put in work to screen them. So, but I'm just letting you know, that's if you vote that way. We can bring this up again later.
There's a motion on the floor. We're gonna call a question. So the motion is to endorse the candidates listed on our sheet. Congressional District 10, Desiree Timms. Ohio Senate District 6, Mark Fogel. Ohio State House District 39, Willis Blackshear. Ohio 2nd District Court of Appeals, Marshall Lockman. And the Montgomery County Probate Judge, Arvin Miller. That's the motion that's on the floor. So, those in favor, if you will stand and raise your sheet, we will count the ballots.
Step in so they can count your ballots if you've got them back there, folks.
Judge, the lady can move to the other side of the room so you can have a clear count.
There's 61 in favor, so sit down, sit, and then those opposed, please stand and raise your hand.
Don't do it.
There was 20 opposed. We have to have a 2/3 majority for the motion to pass.
We do it at 6 to 1.
Right, that was 75%. The motion passes. All right. For those, we do have, I want to make a couple announcements other than what we have going on here. First, we do have our Frolic for Fun set. It's on March 11th, which is 6 days before the primary. And we're hoping to attract either a presidential candidate or a surrogate. So if you mark your ballots or dates for March the 11th, that's when we will have our Frolic for Funds. We have, I just want to make sure that we want to thank everyone who brought some desserts, but we also have some pizza, and I want to have this courtesy of Judge Dan Garris. And we want to thank Judge Garris for supplying the pizza. Are there any other announcements? Yes.
Just for those folks who are wanting to see the candidates, South Dayton Democratic Club on January 22nd will be having a candidate forum at the Oakwood Library at 7 p.m. and anybody who wishes to come is very welcome. We've also been collecting money for families who lost everything in the tornadoes. Thank you for those who donated. If anybody would like to open their wallets tonight, Tim and I are here and we will gratefully receive anything you would like to give. Thank you.
Any other announcements? I know we have some elected officials in the House. I want to make sure that I recognize them as soon as I can. If I miss you, please wave your arm so I don't. I see Brandon McLean was here earlier. Brandon, are you still here? Reporter, Brian Keith.
I didn't see
Paul Ritter. Tim O'Connell, Judge Court. Shaw. City Commission. I already introduced Judge Garris of the 8-minute report. Judge Helen Wright and Helen Wallace of the juvenile court. Judge Wallace. Carolyn Rice. Fighting the fund coming back here. Carolyn Rice coming. Montgomery County Commissioner. Strayhorn, current. And that's it. Our next meeting will be January 23rd, here at 7:30. I'm sorry, Adrian Draper, our newest elected official. Congratulations, Adrian. Yvette Page. Yvette Page, all right. Yvette Page struggling. Dennis Lieberman, Clayton Council. Brenda from Riverside Council. Oh, Jocelyn Reiner from Dayton Board of Education. Mohammed Donnie from Dayton Board of Education. Who else am I missing? All right. Debbie Lieberman, County Commissioner, Debbie Lieberman. All right. And everybody else, thank you. Have a happy holiday. Enjoy the refreshments.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn. Second. All in favor? Aye. Thank you.